Facts is facts, and the fact is whack. Nowadays,
hey everyone, welcome to the Sales Factory. I'm your host, Coach Carroll. Monday at 4 p.m. We come to you live every week on Monday, Motivation Monday. Hopefully you're staying motivated. Hopefully you're following me right here on the Coach Carroll page, or maybe even possibly on my personal page. But you should follow me right here. It's where all my information comes out. And then, of course, we launch every Monday a flurry of tweets and posts and shout outs and what have you across social media to help you stay motivated throughout the very first day of the week. I don't have any problem. I love Mondays, right? Because business is just like, it's my thing. I love it. But today I'm going to be talking to you about how you can focus not only on Monday, but also on every other day of the week. And that's by utilizing right there, a calendar. Make sure you tweet me if you got questions. You can also comment right here in the video, in the comments section. And those of you that are watching on replay, make sure you hit that like button and let me know what you think. So today, guys, we're talking about how you can increase your efficiency, how you can grow your money, how you can grow your time by implementing a calendar. And we're not talking about the old paper desk calendar, right? Like my office manager still uses one of those. Can't get it away from her to save my life. But I'm talking about an electronic calendar, something on your mobile device that is going to allow you to be more efficient, right? The number one challenge that I see with people, especially young entrepreneurs, is their lack of focus on their time and how they would push every single second of every day. There's a lot of people that just like, don't care, like they're not worried about it. Or here's the other big trap that we're going to talk about today. You get sucked in to doing things that aren't cash positive on the return of the time that you invest in them, right? This happens a lot. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about using, which calendars to use. I'm going to cover some of the apps that we use. Be a short show today. We've got a YPAL event to go to this evening for emerging leaders. Shout out to YPAL, Young Professional Association Louisville. So if you're watching me, you're in Louisville, check out YPAL. Free little plug for them. But I hope you guys are doing well. Listen, one of the things that I wish I would have learned early on was how to keep a calendar, right? One of my mentors in my early 20s, the guy was like laser focused on making sure that his calendar was 100% pristine. And I'm not just talking about from the standpoint of, making sure that things are documented. It was so deep that if it wasn't on his calendar, it didn't get done, period. It was pretty crazy, but I look back and I'm like, man, I criticized that. And I thought that, it was too much, right? It's like, who wants to live like that? But what I'm realizing now is to go to that next level in business and to help keep you focused, you have to have a calendar. You can get to $1 million in revenue, right? $1 million in sales by just saying yes to everything. But there's going to come a time that if you want to level up, man, you're just going to have to get organized and start saying no to things, right? And if you don't know what's on your calendar or what you have planned for the week, then you don't really know if you have that time available or not, right? It's inventory, okay? So every person has the same 24 hours in a day, right? We've all heard that saying, right? Oh, you got no excuses. You're just being fucking lazy. It's not that. It's not so much that we all know we have the same 24 hours in a day, but if you aren't tracking where every single minute is going, you're going to lose track of your time. And so what happens by that's consequently going to make you lose out on revenue, right? Washing your car, a lot of the monotonous tasks day in and day out, your number one goal should be to get to an income level that you can hire that stuff out, right? So that you can hire that to be done and buy back some of your time. Keeping a calendar allows you to also stay accountable. I use Google Calendar. This will pull up here in a second and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. this is my calendar right here. You guys can see that on the screen. It's full. And if we look at last week, maybe. It's Apple slowing my iPhone down, wanting me to upgrade. So this was last week's. You see that? Grant Cardone's got a cool quote. He says that white space on your calendar is missed opportunity or open opportunity, I guess, if it hasn't passed yet. But what I was trying to prove to you there is that if you're not scheduling out every single minute of every single day, then you're going to become open to drifting. And drifting means just floating, right? You're just like going along, going with the flow. You know, maybe your friend stops in and says, "Hey man, let's go grab lunch." And you're like, fuck it. I don't know. I don't have anything on a calendar. I don't even keep a calendar. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, let alone knowing if I have that time available, that inventory. So then next you're pulling into a 2-hour lunch, hanging out with your broski that's not worried about putting money in your fucking bank account. It's a challenge. It's something you've got to overcome. That's the part, like that's the tactical part of cutting friends off, right? Everybody knows that saying, right? It's like, oh, you got to cut friends off. You got to, it's about like, no one ever tells you how. No one ever tells you how to get definite. No one ever tells you how to cut friends off, right? It's not as easy, man. Like if you've been talking to somebody for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you've been bros, and now all of a sudden you're just supposed to go on your phone and block their number. Like it doesn't work like that. You do it by starting to understand the risk and reward of the opportunity of spending or investing your time. That's another thing a lot of people don't think about. Do you spend your time or do you invest it? It's a big difference when you spend cash versus investing cash. You got to look at your time the same way. You can always make more money. You can always go out and sell more things. There's always something that you can do to generate more cash, right? I have zero empathy for people that say, man, I'm jobless, I'm hopeless, I'm broke. Because it's America. It's a land of opportunity. You can go out and you can make money in almost any way you can imagine. But if you keep a calendar, you are accountable now to yourself. And that's a huge personal development trait that you need to learn, is how to start being accountable to yourself, so that as your hours pass by throughout the day, you're not lingering or drifting. Because when you drift, you come off of your purpose. And if you're not clear with your purpose, then you have no way of achieving those goals and dreams and ambitions that your mind comes up with, that your intuition tells you about, that your heart sparks a fire about. Using a calendar is probably the number one skill that should be taught to us in school, but isn't. Teachers don't ever tell you about, right? Like you get a homework assignment or you get a project and it's put on a deadline, but they never teach us time management. It's kind of interesting. They don't teach you about money and they don't teach you about time, which are the two most valuable things in our society if you want to progress forward. But, this is always that caveat. People's like, oh, what about family and love and health and relationship? Listen, you could have the best relationship in the world, but I promise you, if you're living in a cardboard box, it's not going to last very long, right? Money and time amplifies things. It amplifies your hobbies. It amplifies your wealth. It amplifies your ability to travel, your ability to spend time with loved ones. Imagine, like, do you want to have your family reunion at, a White Castle or at a steakhouse? Money allows you to experience life in a different way. Time is the catalyst that you can't get back. It's the only thing in this quantum universe that we truly can't control. There is, like, I hate the term time management, right? Because there's no such thing as time management. If you go to my YouTube channel, which you can just go to YouTube, search hashtag Coach Carroll, it'll pull up my channel. There's literally, I think, a couple hundred videos on there, absolutely free. I've got a video on there that talks about time utilization versus time management, because you can't manage time. You can only utilize the hours that you have in every day. And one way to do that is on your calendar. Now let's talk about the app, practicality. Let's get tactical. I use Google Calendar. Your Android phone, your iPhone, maybe your flip phone. I don't know how old you are, but even my dad's 62 and he's finally got a smartphone. We got him off the flip phone about 2 years ago. But you have to understand that there's some limited capabilities of the calendar that comes on your phone preloaded. Okay. I'm also partial to the Google Suite, Gmail and Google Calendar. We use that in my companies. I use it on my phones just because one is it's backed up, right? It's in the cloud. Google's got it. It's on the Google Calendar. I can access it anywhere if I have internet connection. Number two, I have the ability to let other people access my calendar. Okay. I use a software called Schedule Once. ScheduleOnce.com. You can check that out. Great software. And a lot of you, if you've asked me for the free, I do free 15-minute consultations to help people out. If you've asked me for one of those, 9 times out of 10, I've sent you a link. The 1 time out of 10, I probably just pushed you to my assistant. But Coach Carroll, let's see, what is it? meetme.so/Coach Carroll. If you guys want to check out that page, it's my schedule page, and it allows you to answer some questions, pick a date, pick a time, and then it automatically syncs with my calendar. And it's like my own little personal assistant. So now when I wake up in the mornings, I literally just have to look at the calendar. I told Tori yesterday that, I was like freaking out a little bit because normally on Sundays I take time and I fill my calendar in, but I've been so busy lately. I'm starting to book, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. So like it's Sunday and I don't really have a whole lot of white space left on my calendar, but I had no idea what I was doing this week. Like I knew in the top of my mind, I had an apartment association meeting that was like the industry outlook. I had a lunch meeting scheduled with a referral partner, and then I had like 2 or 3 other small meetings. But then I had no idea what I was doing with the rest of the 60, 70 hours of my week, Monday through Friday. But I didn't have to. It was in my phone. The clarity that you'll get in your mind from not having to remember everything, you can data dump into this, will really make you a lot sharper when it comes to being able to think and to recall. Your mind's just a giant computer, right? I hope you realize that. It's just a bunch of electricity up there floating around, firing around. And so your memory backs up just like your computer will. Right. And so like you delete all the stuff off the hard drive, the computer runs faster. It's the same thing with your mind. I would say that's another big benefit of using a calendar is that it allows you to data dump and free up space. Now, let's talk about taking it external, right? So I've got the link, but here's something else. My team, right? Amanda, my executive assistant, Garlina, my office manager, they have access to my calendar. Tori, do you have access? You have access to a calendar, don't you? No? Yeah. I don't know. I think she does. I don't know. She pretty much just tells me and then we put it on, right? But where I'm getting at is that if you can let other people have access to your calendar, they know when you're available. Prime example, my office manager needed to meet with me Wednesday. She went and like booked it into my calendar. We're taking this shit to the next level so far that all of my technicians have iPhones with Google Calendar. I'm sending my lead tech, John, and then my office manager. They're going to the apartment association next week to a training on how to sell to property managers. And my office manager was able to like send John an email and say, here's the details. And I've already put it on your calendar. So now I'm making my team more efficient. And guess what happens? When your team becomes more efficient, you make more money. I mean, it's called a sales factory for a reason, right? I'm trying to pump out more cash for you guys. So if you'll download, I really like Google Calendar. It's efficient. I know there's other softwares out there. I'd be interested to know what you're using if you are using one. So drop that in the comments below. But hands down, going external and allowing people to schedule time with you if there's an availability will allow you to do more. I promise you, you're only scratching the surface of what your potential is. Out of all the stuff out there that you could be doing, what you're selecting to actually do and put on your calendar, I promise you, is microscopic compared to what the potential is for you to be able to process and execute on. The challenge is you're not organized enough to do that. And I'm only speaking this from the truths in my heart. One of my biggest challenges is organization. And so it's only been through utilizing apps like Google and Google Drive and trying to get my computers organized and all these files. I move at such a fast pace and I'm so creative that creativity and organization just do not go well together. It's like oil and water. So if you can find a way to start putting things on your calendar, and it might just start with your morning routine, right? Like you might just need to put on your calendar every day that you're going to wake up at a certain time, you're going to work out, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And listen, you're not going to hit 100% efficiency. Perfection never arrives. Never, ever will it show up. Never, ever will you hit 100% on your calendar. If you do, let me know, because then you can come coach me, because it just doesn't happen. If you're an entrepreneur, things catch on fire, they crash, they burn, people call in sick. There's all these things that just keep moving around that you've got to audible and be willing to adjust and shift. Well, it's hard to do that if you can't have one place to look, like a command center, and see exactly what you're doing each day. So find a calendar app that works for you. Start using it. Start making your team use it. Start making them abide by your set of time that you allow them to have. You have to be in control of your time. If you cannot control your environment enough to not let people interject whenever they please, you're going to have a very, very, very difficult time running a successful business or being successful in sales. Sales, honestly, I think entrepreneurship might be a little easier than sales. I think in sales, if you're in a sales role, you're going to have to keep a calendar and focus on your efficiency more than anything, because all your sales buddies are going to be dinking off of the water cooler and they're going to want to try to pull you in on that. You have to have the testicular fortitude to say, no, man, I'm worried about my life. I'm worried about my income. I'm worried about staying on purpose so that I can achieve my goals. I can achieve my dreams. I can make more money, because that's what it's all about. If you can figure out a way to start small stepping your way into using a calendar, you'll be able to track where your time's at. And then I'm going to forewarn you guys, this part kind of sucks. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think it's very useful. Friday's going to roll around. You're going to pull up your calendar and you're going to go, damn, man, I only did like half, or maybe even like 18%, or maybe even like, 67%. Like, you're not going to hit 100% efficiency, but it's okay, because that's now keeping you accountable. You now have a tracking device that can allow you to make the changes. Like when I'm flying in an airplane, I want the stall horn to go off, right? Like, it doesn't mean just game over, give up. It means you better fix your shit or you're going to crash. It's the same thing. Use your calendar for that in business. Use your calendar for that in sales. So you can look at your calendar and say, damn, I only was at 72% efficiency this week. I only hit 72% of the things that I had put on my radar to get completed. The problem is most of you aren't serious enough about your goals. Most of you aren't definite about your purpose in life. Most of you aren't even definite about what you need to accomplish this week. When I started Easy Pro, my lawn care business that, started with $300 pick up and the push mower, I started getting around these other business owners, and because it was a seasonal business, wintertime would come. And I remember if you were on the internet, 2005 to 2010, before Facebook groups and Facebook got big, online forums are huge. But when wintertime came around, these grown-ass men would turn into little bitches and argue for like 4 and 5 months. And then it'd get nice, and they'd all go back to work. And it always blew my mind because I'm like, I'm over here building a website. I'm over here making cold calls. I'm trying to get this shit done. And I'm like, why aren't they doing that? Why do they have all this time throughout the day? And it simply came down to the fact that they either A, didn't value their time enough, that they were just expensing it out into this negative energy, or B, they weren't even conscious enough or aware enough that they were losing their time. Those hours that they could have been making more money, or shit, you could have been doing laundry, something more productive than arguing online. That's why negativity has no place in your life. You can't do this. But it all comes down to how committed you are to achieving what you set out to be or set out to achieve. You have to have a goal. You've got, for me, I like to set goals, and I know we're getting a little off topic here because I went from calendars. Now I'm over in goal setting, but welcome to Coach Carroll. That's how I do things. You have to understand that when you're setting goals, you've got to think about finances in your environment, in your health, in your fitness, in your mental fortitude. Like, you've got to have goals to grow personally. And all of that takes time, but unless you're keeping a calendar, there we go, circled the wagons. Unless you're keeping a calendar, you have no way of figuring out whether you're working on that or not. You just bounce from one thing to another throughout the day, and then that turns into a week, and then that turns into a month, and then that turns into a year, and before you know it, you're on your deathbed going, fuck, what'd I really do? That's the problem. The problem is you have to get so focused. Like, this isn't fun. This wasn't like, oh, this is a Sales Factory, episode number 4, season 2, the most fun episode we're ever going to have. No, this is boring shit. No one likes keeping a calendar. No one wants to tell you to keep a calendar. But I truly believe it's information you need to know, because I had a mentor tell me in my early 20s, and I blew him off. So hopefully you won't blow me off today, because I regret it. I wish I would have started doing this 6, 7, 8 years ago. My success would be light years ahead. That's the whole point of this show. It's the whole reason I do this. The whole reason I take 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour out of my day is so that I can share with you things that I fucked up, things that maybe now I'm doing that I didn't used to do, and I want you to be able to cut those years off. I'll be 30 this year. Like, if you're watching this and you're 22, or if you're watching this and you're 18, or shit, I don't care if you're watching this and you're 47. Like, let me help you. Don't go another day without implementing these things. Too many of us watch shit on social media and YouTube and the TV and movies, and it's just for sheer entertainment. But it's a distraction. Entertainment will cause you to drift. It's a distraction that will pull you away from your definite purpose. And every day that you're not on purpose is a day you drift further away from your goals. I care about you. I truly do. Like, that's why I do this. Like, I get these butterflies in my stomach when you message me and you tell me that, hey man, I'm having this problem, and I give you a little help. And then you're like, great, my life's better because of it. Like, fuck money, man. Like, I think that's the highest calling. But you don't have to do that. Like, I'm just saying, please have some purpose. It might only be to lose 10 pounds over the next 6 months. It might be to be a better father to your kid that you haven't been in his life. It might be to stop being a punk ass kid and run around and spray painting and tagging shit and actually do something positive with your creative ability. It might be to stop being a douchebag sales guy and start delivering value and building lifelong relationships with your client. There's a lot of changes that we can make, and the world will be a better place for it. But it all starts with tracking your time, knowing where you're spending it, knowing where you're investing it, knowing where you're wasting it, wasting time. I hate that saying. Hey man, I got some time to waste. I got to blow off some time. It's the most valuable thing in our life, man. Like, you're only going to get so many years. Some of you are going to die in your 40s. Some of you are going to die in your 50s. Some of you might make it to 100. Let me tell you something. If you just like sit in a corner covered up by a blanket with someone taking care of you to be 100, man, I'd much rather only live to 50, but go out and build something amazing and impact people and make the world a better place. I truly believe that comes back to tracking your time, making sure you can be accountable to yourself, and then increasing your efficiency so that you can shorten either the lifespan of the cell, the lifespan of the goal. Like I'm telling you right now, if you will get serious, one of you that are watching this will get serious with this in the next 12 months, and you're going to message me and be like, bro, that calendar shit was fire. Because it's true. I'm forcing all of my technicians to keep a calendar now. If nothing more than just so that we can place things on their calendar to keep them more organized. You have to track your time to increase your efficiency. There's no other way to increase your efficiency. You have to have metrics. I can't tell if Facebook ads are doing well if Zucks didn't give me any numbers. Be like TV or billboards. But if you'll keep a calendar, you'll start tracking your time and audit that. I promise you that'll help you achieve your goals. And if you're in sales or you're an entrepreneur, it's going to help you make more money. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Drop me a comment. Let me know what the biggest takeaway was if you're watching this right here on Facebook. If you're listening on the podcast, it's all out there on Stitcher and I don't know, streaming in Google Play. And I don't know if we got Alexa set up yet or not. It's supposed to be coming to Alexa and Google Home here pretty soon. Getting with Andy on that this week. So continue to roll this stuff out. Again, you guys make sure you like the Coach Carroll page, hit the follow button, see first. That way you get a notification when the show goes live. Tune in right here every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Not going anywhere, man. I'm going to keep bringing the fire to you right here in the Sales Factory. It's my goal to help you make more money, live life better, right? Like I wrote down over here that happiness, inspiration, and hustle, man. That's what I am. I'm a Molotov cocktail of happiness, inspiration, and hustle. And I'm just going to keep throwing it at you every week. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. This has been Sales Factory.
Facts is facts, and the fact is trap. Whip that work, but just let the rappers rap.